Ladies and gentlemen, imagine for a moment that the idea of marriage is not the beginning of something, but a moment in time that unfolds, layer by layer, like the petals of a flower. Too often we see it as an arrival, an end point. But what if marriage, this powerful concept we all strive towards, is not a goal to reach, but a journey to embark upon? What if it is less about the day you say, "I do," and more about the days that follow, the days you choose to continue walking the path together? You will be married soon, yes, but are you truly ready to begin? Not just to say words and exchange rings, but to dive into the depth of what it means to be two people creating something far greater than themselves? This speech is not just for those about to wed, but for anyone who is willing to truly understand the essence of commitment, love, and the adventure that awaits when two lives intertwine. Let us think about what marriage truly means. It is not ownership or possession, as society sometimes portrays it. It is a commitment, a conscious choice to walk side by side, evolving together. You see, the idea of marriage is often presented as the perfect destination, but in truth, it is an evolving process. The beauty lies in the imperfections, in the challenges that arise, and in the graceful dance of two souls adapting and growing together. But what happens when we fear change, when we cling to the notion that our love should be static, unchanging? What happens when we resist the natural ebb and flow of life and the changes that marriage inevitably brings? The secret is to let go. Let go of the need for perfection, for in that release you will discover a deeper form of connection, one that thrives in the unknown, in the messy, in the beautiful transformation of both partners as they grow and change. True marriage is about trust, but it is also about vulnerability. Trust cannot be demanded or assumed, it must be cultivated, and vulnerability, the willingness to expose the deepest parts of ourselves, is what makes the union truly sacred. It is only when we allow ourselves to be raw, to be seen in our entirety, that the bond becomes unbreakable. So, as you step forward into this new chapter, remember this: marriage is not a completion of a story. It is a new beginning. And it is one that you are not meant to walk alone. It is about the connection between two individuals who, together, will contribute something meaningful not just to each other, but to the world around them. So ask yourself, will you marry not just for the moment, but for the lifetime ahead? Will you embrace the marriage of your two souls with the awareness that it will constantly evolve? This, my friends, is not a question of if, but how. How will you choose to walk this path? With love, with trust, with the understanding that in this togetherness you will create something greater than either of you could alone. As you prepare for the journey ahead, keep this in mind: marriage is not a final destination. It is the continuous unfolding of two people discovering, growing, and evolving with one another. You will be married soon, yes, but the real journey is just beginning. Marriage is often viewed as the culmination of a romantic journey, the moment two people officially become a single unit. But in truth, marriage is not an arrival, it is an unfolding experience, a continuous journey that stretches far beyond the wedding day. It is not the end of something, but the beginning of an entirely new chapter in the lives of two people. The moment you say, "I do," you are not sealing the end of your individual stories, but rather acknowledging that your paths will now weave together, creating a tapestry that is both shared and personal, distinct yet connected. Marriage, in its deepest sense, is not the achievement of a goal, but an ongoing process of discovery, adaptation, and growth. The relationship between two people is not static. It is a dynamic, living entity that thrives on the exchange of ideas, the negotiation of desires, and the willingness to change. Each day brings new experiences that will shape your bond in ways you cannot yet foresee. There will be moments of harmony and moments of tension, moments of laughter and moments of tears. The beauty of marriage lies in this unpredictability, in the fact that both partners are learning and evolving together, constantly adjusting to the rhythms of life and to one another. It is this unfolding nature that makes marriage so powerful. It is not about having a set of expectations that must be met, or trying to mold your partner into a certain version of themselves. Rather, It is about both individuals recognizing that they are part of something bigger than themselves, something that cannot be forced or rushed. It is the slow, organic growth that happens when two people create space for one another's dreams, fears, and imperfections. The relationship is not defined by a single moment, but by the multitude of small, everyday choices that both partners make to be present, to support, to challenge, and to love. When you approach marriage with this understanding, it shifts the perspective on what it means to be committed. It is no longer about achieving perfection, about having everything figured out, but about being willing to adapt, to grow, and to face the challenges of life together. Marriage becomes less about a destination and more about the joy of being on a journey with another person, sharing in the wonder of life's twists and turns, and knowing that, no matter what, you are walking that path side by side. True commitment in marriage is not about ownership or possession, but about the conscious decision to walk alongside your partner through the twists and turns of life. In the traditional sense, we often hear the phrase commitment, as though it implies something fixed and unchanging, as if it locks two people into a rigid, predefined role. But true commitment is far more fluid than that. It is not about enforcing control or attempting to mold your partner into your own image. Instead, it is a mutual, deliberate choice to navigate the world together, accepting both the beauty and the challenges that will inevitably arise. When you commit to someone, you are not binding yourself to an idealized version of who they are or who you want them to become. Rather, you are promising to honor their true essence, flaws and all, and to give them the space to evolve as they will. This kind of commitment comes not from a place of fear or expectation, but from a deep, trusting place that acknowledges the inherent uncertainty of life. It is a commitment to weather the storms of life and to rejoice in the moments of peace, knowing that no matter what changes come, the choice to stand together remains. This type of commitment requires vulnerability, an openness to change, to the discovery of new aspects of yourself and your partner, and a willingness to support each other even when you do not have all the answers. It is not about achieving a state of perfect harmony, but about navigating differences, finding solutions together, and respecting each other's autonomy within the partnership. In the healthiest of marriages, both people retain their individuality while choosing to remain united in purpose and direction. A true commitment, then, is not a heavy burden, it is a gift, a continuous act of choosing each other day after day. It is understanding that life will present unforeseen challenges and that, through it all, you and your partner will make the decision to remain a team. Commitment is not about a single promise, but rather a lifetime of small, consistent choices that demonstrate love, respect, and trust. This kind of commitment doesn't impose limitations. It allows each person to be their fullest self while still walking in tandem with another, and through it you both become stronger, not in spite of, but because of the path you've chosen to walk together. Marriage is often viewed as the perfect culmination of love, an idealized union where two people are expected to live happily ever after in harmony. Yet in reality, marriage is not about achieving perfection, and it's certainly not about maintaining a flawless relationship. The true nature of marriage is much more nuanced and much more human. It is, in essence, a beautiful mess. The very idea that two people should be perfectly aligned in every way, every day, is a setup for disappointment. The pursuit of perfection can lead to unrealistic expectations that, when unmet, cause frustration and disillusionment. Marriage thrives not on perfection, but on acceptance, flexibility, and the willingness to evolve alongside one another. When you release the idea of perfection, you create space for something more real and lasting, authenticity. Marriage is not about forcing your partner to meet a set of preconceived standards, but about accepting them as they are, flaws, quirks, and all. This acceptance allows both partners to show up fully as themselves without fear of judgment. It is in these moments of raw honesty that real intimacy forms. When you let go of trying to create a perfect version of your relationship, You free yourself from the pressure of constant comparison to an ideal that doesn't truly exist. Instead, you learn to love the imperfect, the evolving, and the sometimes messy nature of life together. This doesn't mean that marriage should be devoid of effort or care. Rather, it acknowledges that perfection is not the goal. The goal is to grow and learn together, to support each other through the inevitable challenges and changes that life will present. Embracing imperfections means that you can be honest about the moments when things are tough without feeling like you've failed or fallen short. It's about understanding that you and your partner will evolve, sometimes in unexpected directions, and that you will both need to adapt and adjust. Perfection in a marriage is an illusion, and when we cling to it, we set ourselves up for frustration. But when we embrace the beauty of imperfection, we create a more resilient, adaptable partnership. The very act of learning to accept and love each other despite flaws brings depth and richness to the relationship, allowing both people to grow not only as individuals but as a team. In the end, it is not perfection that creates lasting love, but the shared experience of learning, growing, and evolving together, no matter what imperfections may arise. Life, like marriage, is a constant flow of change. To resist change is to resist life itself, and yet many people fear it. We cling to what we know, hoping that the familiar will offer us stability and comfort. But in reality, change is inevitable, and it is through change that growth happens. Marriage, much like life, is a dynamic experience, one that is continuously shaped by the changing circumstances, emotions, and experiences that both partners encounter. Embracing change in marriage is not merely about accepting the inevitable shifts in your relationship. It's about actively welcoming them, knowing that they present opportunities for growth and connection. At the core of this acceptance lies a deep understanding that no one stays the same forever. As individuals, we evolve, emotionally, mentally, and even physically. The person you marry today may be very different in a few years, and the same is true for you. In a healthy marriage, both partners recognize this fundamental truth. They understand that the journey is about more than just maintaining the status quo. It's about learning how to adapt to one another as both of you change and grow over time. Marriage, at its best, is a shared experience of transformation, one where both people can thrive while continuing to evolve in their own unique ways. Change in marriage can take many forms. It can be external, such as changes in career, health, or family circumstances, or it can be internal, like shifts in personal beliefs, goals, or desires. No matter the nature of the change, the ability to adjust together is what strengthens the bond. When both partners view change as an opportunity to deepen their understanding of one another, it becomes an integral part of the relationship. There will be moments of discomfort, moments of uncertainty, but the key to lasting love is not avoiding these moments, but learning how to navigate them together. The willingness to embrace change also fosters resilience in a relationship. When both partners accept that change is a constant, they learn to be flexible. They stop holding on to rigid expectations and instead start working with the flow of life, finding new ways to connect, communicate, and support one another. In the process, they not only grow as individuals but also become stronger as a couple. This shared growth is what transforms marriage from a static commitment into a vibrant, evolving partnership, one that can weather any storm, celebrate every success, and meet each challenge with newfound strength and unity. Trust in marriage is often seen as the foundation upon which the relationship stands, and rightfully so, for without trust, the entire dynamic begins to falter. Yet, trust is not a given. It is something that is earned, nurtured, and constantly reinforced through actions and intention. In the beginning, trust may come easily, as both partners bring their best selves to the relationship, eager to share and to build. But over time, as the layers of vulnerability are peeled back, trust becomes something more intricate and fragile. It requires conscious effort, and sometimes it means taking risks in order to allow the other person to witness the most intimate parts of yourself. the parts you may fear judgment for, the parts that are raw and unpolished. Trust is not just about believing that your partner will never betray you. It's about understanding that there will be moments of imperfection, moments when both of you will fall short in some way. But in these moments, trust allows you to believe in the potential for growth and repair. It is the unwavering belief that the relationship is strong enough to withstand these tests. True trust in marriage is built not just on the moments of happiness and harmony, but on how both partners handle the inevitable struggles and disappointments. It is easy to trust when things are going well, but it is in the tough times, the disagreements, the miscommunications, the moments of doubt, that trust is either strengthened or weakened. Part of building trust in marriage is understanding that vulnerability is not a weakness, but a strength. It takes courage to open up, to share the parts of yourself that feel exposed or fragile, to allow someone else to see you fully with all your flaws and imperfections. It's only when both partners practice vulnerability, when they allow each other to witness their truest selves, that they can develop the kind of trust that is unshakable. Trust isn't just about reliability, it's about being emotionally available, being present when your partner needs you most, and showing up consistently with love and empathy. But trust also involves letting go of control. It requires a shift in mindset, understanding that, although you may share a life together, you do not own each other. You must trust that your partner will make decisions with the relationship in mind, and allow space for them to be their individual self. This trust in each other's autonomy can create an environment where both people can grow and thrive, not just as a couple, but also as individuals. Trust is not a stagnant concept. It evolves over time, shaped by shared experiences, challenges, and growth. It is the quiet force that holds the relationship together when external pressures try to tear it apart, allowing both partners to move forward with confidence, knowing that, no matter what happens, they will face it together. Marriage is often seen as a private bond between two people, yet its impact stretches far beyond the couple themselves. When two individuals come together in marriage, they create a collective energy that ripples outward into their families, communities, and even the world at large. The partnership they share becomes a source of strength, inspiration, and growth, not just for themselves, but for everyone they come into contact with. This is the beautiful paradox of marriage. It is deeply personal, but it is also profoundly social. The connection between two people is not isolated. It is something that has the potential to influence, enrich, and elevate the lives of others. In the most fulfilling marriages, both partners recognize that their bond is not just for their own benefit, but also for the greater good. They understand that their love and support for one another can extend to those around them. When a couple thrives together, they naturally become a source of stability and positivity for their families, friends, and even colleagues. Their mutual respect, love, and commitment serve as an example of what a healthy, supportive relationship can be, and this example can inspire others to build better, more connected relationships in their own lives. Furthermore, marriage becomes a space where both partners learn to nurture not only each other, but also the wider world. Whether it's through raising children, supporting extended family, or contributing to their community, a married couple has the opportunity to create an environment that is richer in love, understanding, and empathy. Together, they can contribute to the collective well-being, enriching the social fabric and creating a ripple effect that extends far beyond their immediate circle. The power of marriage is in its ability to create a partnership that is not just about two people, but about the legacy they build together. The lessons learned, the values shared, and the experiences gained become part of a larger narrative, one that influences the future generations they raise, the friends they support, and the lives they touch. In this way, marriage is not a private experience confined to a couple, but a collective force that can shape and enrich the world around them. The beauty of marriage lies not only in the union of two hearts, but in the ability to contribute something meaningful to the world together. In the end, marriage is not a destination but a journey, one that is constantly evolving, full of challenges, growth, and opportunities to connect on deeper levels. It is about embracing change, learning to love through imperfections, and committing not just to a single moment but to a lifetime of shared experiences. True marriage is built on trust, vulnerability, and the understanding that both individuals will change, but the bond they share can adapt and strengthen over time. It is not about achieving perfection, but about building something authentic, something real, that grows with each passing day. Ultimately, marriage is a reflection of both the individuals and the collective energy they create. It is a partnership that influences not only the couple themselves, but also the world around them, through the love, support, and inspiration they offer to others. Marriage is a shared journey, one where two souls come together not just to live side by side, but to grow together, contribute to something greater than themselves, and leave a lasting impact on the world they touch.